In Cleveland, a sample of 73 mail carriers showed that 10 had been bitten by an animal during 1 week. In Philadelphia, a sample of 80 mail carriers, 16 had received animal bites. Is there a significant difference in the proportions? Let alpha equal 0.05, and we will use the p-value method. Okay. So again, we need to come up with our sample statistics. So we'll take a look at the Cleveland, and then we also have the Philadelphia. So this is going to represent P2, and we'll let Cleveland represent P1. So X1 is equal to 10, N1 is equal to 73. For Philadelphia, X2 is equal to 16, and N2 is equal to 80. So is there a significant difference in the proportions? So is that going to be our null hypothesis or our alternative hypothesis? The alternative. So step 1 is our null and our alternative. So what can we say? P1 minus P2 is not equal to 0. Good. So the hard part here, P1 minus P2 is equal to 0. So step 2, we need to compute our test statistic. So again, to compute our test statistic, we need to come up with our p hat sub p. So we know that's going to be x1, which is 10, plus x2, which is 16, divided by 73 plus 80. So that's 26 over 153. And then I forgot to write over here, we know that p hat 1 is equal to 10 over 73. And we know that p hat 2 is 16 over 80. So our z test statistic then is going to be p hat 1, which is 10 over 73, minus p hat 2, which is 16 over 80, divided by the square root of 26 over 153, 1 minus 26 over 153, times 1 over 73 plus 1 over 80. And again, up here, it's p hat 1 minus p hat 2. This grouping minus P1 minus P2 under the null, but under the null, we know that P1 minus P2 is equal to 0. So that's why on this slide I didn't enter that one in there. Is everybody okay with that? Okay. All right, so when we compute this, I get z equals negative 1.04. So now what we'd like to do is to compute the p-value. So step 3. So if I draw my standard normal distribution, since we have a two-tailed test, remember we have to take this test statistic right here, so it's negative 1.04, so it's going to be this lower region, and at 1.04, so remember that these combined areas is our p-value. So remember what we'll do is we'll just find this area down here, and by symmetry we can go ahead and double that. So remember it's 2 times the normal CDF, so lower bound is negative E99 to negative 1.04. So if you want to compute that and verify, I came up with 0.2983. All right, so our p-value then is 0.2983, so we need to compare 0.2983 to our alpha level of 0.05. So what's the relationship between these two numbers? 0.2983 is greater than 0.05. So our conclusion, do we reject or fail to reject? We fail to reject. So when we fail to reject, does that mean that there's a difference in the proportions or not a difference in the proportions? There is not a difference in the proportions. So the number of dog bites in Cleveland for those mail carriers is no different than the proportion of the animal bites for those mail carriers in Philadelphia.